welcome po sa ating Forestry101 Talkshow. I am Forester Gina Yanesa and I will be your host today. Here with us is Forester Maria Teresa Aquino of the Forest Resources Conservation Division of the FMB to answer frequently asked questions regarding the implementation of the National Greening Program. Hello and welcome, Ms. Tess.
Hi, Ms. Gina. Magandang araw.
So, Ma'am Tess, the National Greening Program or the NGP has been around since 2011. And before we proceed to our questions, can you briefly describe the NGP for us?
The National Greening Program was implemented by virtue of Executive Order number 26 issued in 2011. It is an interdepartmental convergence initiative which is a massive reforestation program of the government which seeks to plant and grow 1.5 billion seedlings to 1.5 million hectares for a period of 6 years from 2011 up to 2016.
And I believe, Ma'am Tess, this was also expanded po, ano?
Yeah, it was expanded, tama ka dyan, with the issuance of Executive Order number 193. So, the program was expanded to cover all remaining unproductive, degraded, and denuded forest lands to be managed for protection and production purposes and also to achieve carbon neutrality.
All right, thank you, Ma'am Tess, for that explanation. Now that we have a background of what NGP is, punta po tayo sa ating first question, which pertains to survival rate. Since NGP is a massive rehabilitation program funded by the government, marami pong nagtatanong about the survival ng mga itinanim po nating mga puno. What are the issues affecting the attainment of the 85% survival ng plantations natin under the NGP?
There are a number of reasons affecting the attainment of the prescribed 85% survival rate of plantations established under the National Greening Program. Most common reasons are fire, typhoon, longer dry seasons, and construction of public infrastructures. Based on submissions from the regional offices, there are already around 100,000 hectares damaged or destroyed plantations under the National Greening Program. From 2011 up to 2020, the program only attained a 78% survival rate nationwide. This can be attributed to the reasons I mentioned to you a while ago and also to the degree of degradation of areas where these plantations were established. These are the reasons why the department improved the design and component of the program. First, we included the conduct of soil testing during the conduct of survey mapping and planning so that the developer or our partners would be guided on the species suitable in the area. Second, we also established clonal nurseries to produce clones of quality indigenous species which are difficult to propagate. Third, we put up seed production areas where plus trees are maintained so that quality seeds may be sourced from it. And fourth, we constructed small water impounding systems to provide steady and sustainable sources of water for irrigating our plantations.
And considering po that funding for the maintenance and protection of NGP sites is only for 3 years, ano po bang pwedeng gawin ng field offices natin to ensure the continued maintenance and protection po ng ating mga established plantations?
Well, Ms. Gina, our field offices have been very innovative in conducting different strategies to maintain and protect the NGP sites to ensure the survival of our planted trees. They forge into partnership with private sector, civil society organizations, non-government organizations for the adoption of the established NGP plantations. However, for them to do this, the field offices should also ensure that proper documentation of the NGP plantations were done, including the recording of the damages, if ever there were damages that happened or occurred in the area.
Another question na madalas po nating nare-receive since fruiting na nga at may mga produce na itong mga plantations natin is yung sa harvesting. Allowed po ba ang harvesting sa NGP sites?
Well, Ms. Gina, even though there is no explicit provision in the harvesting of trees, under Section 3.3 of Executive Order number 26 issued in 2011, harvesting of produce of agroforestry plantations are allowed. So the said section states that all proceeds from agroforestry plantations duly accounted by the DNR shall accrue to the NGP beneficiary communities to address food security and poverty reduction. If the NGP is established inside a community-based forest management agreement area or CFM area, the CRMF or the Community Resource Management Framework must be updated to include these informations.
How about if there will be a proposed project, say energy project, that will affect yung isang NGP site? Pwede po bang i-allow ang cutting of trees within the said site?
Considering that energy projects are crucial to the country and to its people, it is important that this should be very well studied. It is understandable that energy projects are important, so as our national greening program projects. So if the location of the energy projects cannot be changed or relocated, the proponent shall be required to replace the seedlings to be affected by the project, or there should be a balance between development and sustainable environmental management.
Will this also hold true for government projects like those from DPWH?
Yes, Ms. Gina. For all government projects where cutting of trees within NGP sites are inevitable or cannot be avoided, the required number of seedlings must be replaced by the proponent, or they should establish a plantation equivalent to the development cost of the and species planted.
And for our last question po, what tenure instruments po ang appropriate sa ating mga NGP sites?
Okay, well, Ms. Gina, in general, tenure instruments are awarded or issued to guarantee peaceful possession, diba? And use of specific forest land and the resources found therein, consistent with the principle of sustainable development. So relative to plantation establishment and existing rules and regulations, the Integrated Forest Management Agreement or IFMA or Socialized Industrial Forest Management Agreement or SIFMA are recommended. But considering that most of the partners under the National Greening Programs are communities or people's organizations, hence the Community-Based Forest Management Agreement or CBFMA is recommended.
All right, thank you very much, Ma'am Tess, for being with us and for sharing your knowledge and expertise on NGP. And there you have it, everyone. Muli, ito ang Forestry 101 Talk Show. I am your host, Forester Gina Yanesa. Maraming salamat po.